Good morning, Director Ma'am, Principal Ma'am, teachers and dear students. Today a special assembly planned on Quit India movement, which was officially launched by the Indian National Congress led by Mahatma Gandhi on 9th August 1942. It is also known as August Kranti. The movement gave the slogan Quit India or Bharat Chodo. Gandhi ji gave the slogan Do the people, do or die, do no more. Watch this video carefully.
In this lecture, we will learn about the Quit India movement. Quit India movement was the final mass-based movement launched to secure India's independence. It was launched during World War II. Three major reasons attributed to the launch of the movement are: the Indian nationalists and the British government could not reach any form of agreement over Indian demands for independence. Japan had already acquired large portions of Southeast Asia, and there was high possibility of Japanese invasion over India. Indian people were facing economic hardships on the account of ongoing World War. The essential commodities were available at very high prices. On 8th August 1942, Congress leaders held a meeting at Gavalia Tank Maidan, Bombay. During this meet, Mahatma Gandhi in his speech addressed the British, asking them to quit India on their own or face mass agitations. Gandhiji gave the mantra of do or die. He further elaborated that either Indians shall free India or die in an attempt. Gandhiji permitted the use of violence for the first time. Although Gandhiji favored non-violence, during World War II, any peaceful protest was not allowed because of emergency conditions. Thus, Congress was left with only one option of a violent movement. Gandhiji issued specific instructions to the various sections of the Indian society. He asked government servants not to resign but declare their allegiance to Congress. This is because continuous functioning of government servants was essential to maintain continuity of administration. Soldiers were asked to stay in the army and not fire on compatriots. It was important that soldiers continued to work in the army because otherwise there would be problems for national defense. The students, if confident, could leave studies and participate in the movement. This is because the youth has an important role to play in the movement. Peasants were instructed to refuse rent to a pro-British zamindar, but if a zamindar was anti-government, peasants could pay a mutually agreed rent. Princes were asked to accept sovereignty of masses, and people of princely states were asked to declare themselves as part of Indian nation. The movement took place in three phases. The first phase started with the immediate arrest of all leaders. Congress was banned, its offices were sealed, and press of freedom was curbed to prevent every possible political activity. However, people were familiar with the agenda of the movement. The arrest of the leaders and readiness of masses led to spontaneous violent movement at a large scale. There were attacks on British officials, government buildings, buses, and other symbols of authority. In the second phase, the movement, which started out from Bombay, spread to various parts of the country. At many places, British rule was eliminated completely and parallel governments were set up. Examples of such governments were seen at Balia UP under Chittu Pandey, Midnapur Bengal under Satish Chandra Samanta, Prati Sarkar in Satara Maharashtra under the leadership of Baibi Chavan and Nana Patil. The third phase witnessed an underground movement secretly organized by leaders of the Congress Socialist Party. The notable leaders were Ram Manohar Lohia, Jai Prakash Narayan and Aruna Asaf Ali. Usha Sharma, a woman leader in CSP, started an underground radio at Bombay. Although perceived by many historians as a leaderless violent outburst of Indian masses, the Quit India movement was more than just an outburst. It was an event that shook the roots of the British Empire and laid the cornerstone for end of the British Raj.
Good morning everyone. I am Akanksha Kumari from class 12B Humanity. Let us close our eyes and join our hands for the Hindi prayer. ए मालिक तेरी दुनिया में है, हमको तेरा ही आसरा। ए मालिक तेरी दुनिया में है, हमको तेरा ही आसरा। मन डरता है बुझ जाए ना ये सांसों का छोटा सा
Alisha Singh of class 9K is going to express my views on the topic Quit India Movement. The Quit India Movement was an important landmark in India's struggle for freedom from British colonization. The movement attracted participation from a large number of people, including such varied professions as peasants, workers, teachers, lawyers, soldiers, etc. The most important effect of the Quit India movement was that it made the British realize that in the context of the crippling effects of the Second World War on British resources and bitter opposition to its rule to India, it would be very difficult to continue ruling the Indians. Also known as the August Movement, it was officially launched by Indian National Congress led by Mahatma Gandhi on 9 August 1942. The movement gave the slogan Quit India or Bharat Chodo. The revolt stated the provisions of the movement as number 1, an immediate end to British rule. Number 2, declaration of the commitment of free India to defend itself against all kinds of imperialism. The formation of the provincial government of India after British withdrawal. Number 4, sanctioning of the civil disobedience movement against British rule. Once the war came to an end in 1945, the only question that lingered on many British minds was to exit India peacefully and gracefully. Thank you.
Stand at ease. Attention. Get ready for national anthem. Jana Gana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkal Banga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchal Jaladhi Taranga Tava Shubh Naam